The little kitten, no bigger than a teacup, had finally found a home, but her incessant crying left her new owner Lilly filled with concern. She tried everything to soothe her, but nothing seemed to work. With a heavy heart, she took her to the vet, hoping for answers. As the vet examined the tiny feline, a revelation came to light, leaving Lilly overwhelmed with emotion and confusion. Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. With the crying kitten in her arms, Lilly was waiting to be seen by the vet. This poor little creature had already given her so many worries that she had started wondering if adopting it was not a big mistake on her part. The tears in the kitten's eyes were clearly not tears of joy. Something was going on with the animal, and she really hoped the vet could shed some light on that. When she was finally welcomed into the office, Lilly noticed that she was a lot more nervous than she expected. She had only had this kitten for a couple of days. How could she already feel such a bond with it? Normally, she was never this quick to form attachments to anything ever. What made this extremely emotional animal an exception? When the vet sat her down, he did not get right to business with the checkup. He could see that the animal was crying, but did not have the biggest of worries about its condition. Just as Lilly had been speculating herself, he figured that it probably had some sort of eye infection which he could easily take care of. But little did they both know, there was actually something very different going on with the animal. The vet first wanted to know more about the animal itself and how Lilly had come across it. He had not seen it in the clinic before and was also informed that the animal was not chipped, something that Lilly herself was not even aware of. She had just adopted this animal without thinking that that would need to be made official somewhere. All Lilly had done was just pick the animal up off the street, and she explained to the vet as well. She told the vet that she had seen the kitten outside for days on end, somewhere along the route she walked to work. She had called animal control a couple of times as well, but they always told her they were too busy to come out. Her only option was to bring the animal to them herself. And Lilly had definitely considered this. The day she finally decided to pick the kitten up, after seeing it crying on the street for a week straight, she had intentions of bringing it to animal control. But seeing this poor, helpless animal up close made her rethink her decision to do so, mainly because of how uninterested to help the spokespersons of animal control had sounded. If they could not even be bothered to come out and get this kitten, then she could not imagine that it would quickly get the appropriate love and attention at their facilities either. Lilly started to feel deeply that if she was the only person who could give this animal what it needed, that sense of responsibility quickly consumed her. She took the kitten home and immediately got to work making the animal as comfortable as possible. It was luckily old enough to eat regular cat food and did not seem to have any big injuries despite living on the street for at least a week. The only concerning aspect about the animal was that it constantly had tears in its eyes and dripping over its cheeks. Lilly had hoped that this would quickly go away now that the animal was no longer exposed to the harsh outside world. But this was sadly not the case. In the 3 days that Lilly had been caring for the kitten, she had not seen any improvements in this condition. In fact, she could swear that it had even gotten worse, and so Lilly felt like she had no other choice but to make an appointment with the vet. From what she had read online, her best guess was that the kitten had some sort of infection that was causing the teary eyes. But she could not find many examples of cats who had so extremely much tear fluid coming out. Normally, it would only be a little bit, which would dry up, causing the eyes to shut a bit. But this kitten was crying so much, it never had time to dry up. This is when the vet started to raise an eyebrow himself. That was indeed something he had not really seen before. He turned his attention back to the kitten, who was seemingly very calm. Maybe there was more going on with this animal than he initially guessed. So he ended the conversation with Lilly for now and went to work checking out the animal. After doing a few simple basic tests, the vet did not find anything out of the ordinary. He needed to delve a little bit deeper into the animal's problem, and for this, he asked Lilly to leave the room so that he had all the space he needed for him and his assistant. The young assistant had just come into the room and almost seemed to melt when she saw the cute little kitten. Lilly, of course, had no problem with this and stepped out into the mostly empty waiting room. She was in luck that she had come on quite a slow day for the clinic, which meant that the vet had all the time in the world for her and her kitten. But she also knew that the longer he was working on the animal, the more the bill was going to rise. And the one thing that Lilly did not have in her life was a lot of money. Getting a high charge from the vet was something she could not really afford. It would set her back quite a bit, and she wondered how she was going to be able to pay. Maybe she could do it in installments. But even if that was the case, did she really want to gain such a financial burden from a kitten she only had a couple of days? Lily's heart pounded as she sat in the sterile waiting room, cradling the kitten. The clock's ticking seemed to mock her growing anxiety. With each minute, her worry for the kitten's health and the looming vet bill intensified. Her mind raced with what-ifs, and her palms grew sweaty as she glanced at the closed door of the examination room. As time dragged on, Lily's concern deepened. She checked her watch again, feeling the weight of every second. Her financial constraints, already tight, loomed over her like a dark cloud. The kitten, sensing her distress, mewed softly, its little body trembling. Lilly whispered reassurances, though she felt none herself. Lily's thoughts churned. Had she been too impulsive in adopting this kitten? She replayed their first encounter, the kitten's cries piercing her heart. Now, holding the tiny creature, she questioned her decision. Her usual practicality clashed with the sudden urge that had driven her to take this vulnerable life into her own hands. Unable to endure the suspense, Lilly rose from her seat. She needed answers. Her steps were hesitant yet determined as she approached the reception desk. Her voice, though shaky, held a firmness born of concern. She inquired about the delay, her eyes pleading for some insight into the kitten's condition and what was happening behind the closed door. Finally, Lilly persuaded the clinic staff. "Please, I just need to know how he's doing," she implored, her voice cracking with emotion. The receptionist, touched by her evident distress, nodded sympathetically. She agreed to check with the vet, offering Lilly a small ray of hope in the midst of her growing turmoil. Lily's heart sank as she stepped into the examination room, finding it eerily empty. The absence of the kitten and any sign of the vet heightened her anxiety. She scanned the room, looking for any clue, any sign of her new, vulnerable companion. The sterile silence of the room echoed her growing fear, making her feel even more isolated in her concern. The vet's sudden appearance startled Lilly. His face, etched with stress, was a stark contrast to his usually composed demeanor. He confronted Lilly about her insistence on updates, his words tinged with an unexpected sharpness. The tension in the air was palpable as Lilly struggled to reconcile this side of the vet with the caring professional she had expected to meet. In an unexpected turn, the vet offered to waive the fee if Lilly left immediately. This proposition caught her completely off guard. Confusion and relief clashed within her. The offer was generous, yet it carried an unspoken weight, hinting at something untold about the kitten's condition. Lily's mind raced, trying to understand this sudden and disconcerting development. Overwhelmed by the situation, Lilly hastily agreed to the vet's terms. Her mind was a whirlwind of emotions, relief at the waived fee, yet besieged by an increasing worry for the kitten. With a heavy heart and a mind clouded with unanswered questions, she made her way out of the clinic, each step feeling heavier than the last. As Lilly stepped outside, the clinic's door closing behind her felt final, almost ominous. She walked away, her thoughts in turmoil. Concern for the kitten's fate gnawed at her, intermingled with a sense of helplessness. The uncertainty of what lay ahead for her and the little creature she had come to care for cast a long shadow over her heart. Throughout the night, Lilly tossed and turned, her mind teeming with thoughts of the kitten. Every faint noise seemed to echo the kitten's cries, amplifying her worry. The darkness of her room felt suffocating, a stark contrast to the warmth she had felt with the kitten nestled in her arms. Her concern for its well-being kept sleep at bay, leaving her exhausted yet restless. As dawn broke, Lily's concern only deepened. The promised call from the vet hadn't come, and each passing hour stretched her anxiety thin. She tried to distract herself with mundane tasks, but her thoughts invariably drifted back to the kitten. The uncertainty gnawed at her, the absence of information leaving her imagination to conjure countless troubling scenarios. By midday, Lily's patience frayed. The silence from the vet was deafening. Determined, she picked up the phone and dialed the clinic. Her fingers trembled as she waited for an answer, rehearsing what she would say. She needed answers, and the quiet indifference of the clinic was no longer acceptable. It was time to take control of the situation. The vet's voice, when it finally came, was evasive, his answers vague and unsatisfying. Each word seemed carefully chosen to reveal as little as possible, leaving Lily more frustrated than before. Her questions were met with non-committal responses, deepening the mystery surrounding the kitten's condition. The lack of clarity only served to fuel her growing apprehension and sense of helplessness. Fueled by frustration, Lily made a decisive move. She couldn't bear the uncertainty any longer. Grabbing her coat, she headed out the door, determined to confront the vet in person. She needed more than just vague assurances. She needed to see the kitten, to understand what was really happening. The clinic, once a place of hope, now seemed like a fortress guarding the truth about her kitten. Upon entering the clinic, Lily's determination was met with the vet's stern demeanor. She demanded her kitten back, her voice laced with a mix of fear and anger. The vet, however, stood firm, his expression unreadable. Lily's heart raced as she braced herself for a confrontation, her worry for the kitten amplifying her resolve to fight for its well-being. The vet countered Lily's demands by stating she had no legal claim to the kitten. His words hit Lily like a wave of cold water, shocking and disheartening her. Confusion clouded her thoughts as she tried to process this new obstacle. The kitten she had cared for, grown to love, suddenly felt like a stranger's property in the eyes of the law. A heated argument erupted between Lily and the vet. Lily's emotional pleas clashed with the vet's clinical reasoning. Each exchange escalated in intensity, the air charged with frustration and misunderstanding. Lily's passion for the kitten's welfare was met with what she perceived as the vet's indifference, deepening the divide between them. Lily grappled with the vet's resistance, trying to understand his motives. Her mind wrestled with the moral complexities of the situation. She questioned whether her emotional attachment had blinded her to legal and ethical considerations. Yet, her heart couldn't accept leaving the kitten in what felt like an uncaring environment, regardless of the legal standings. Finally, the vet revealed his concerns about the kitten's past, suggesting deeper issues at play. Although Lily was skeptical, she recognized a need for collaboration. They reached a reluctant truce, agreeing to work together to uncover the truth behind the kitten's condition. This uneasy alliance marked the beginning of a new chapter in their quest for answers. The vet shared his theory with Lily. He believed the kitten's issues stemmed from its past. He speculated that it might have been part of an unknown situation or experiment before Lily found it. This revelation added a new layer of complexity to the kitten's story, leaving Lily both intrigued and apprehensive about what they might discover next. Together, Lily and the vet began a deep dive into online resources, searching for any clue that could shed light on the kitten's past. They scoured pet adoption forums, social media posts, and local news archives, hoping to find a thread that would lead them to the truth. The task was daunting, but Lily's determination fueled their efforts. Their search led to unsettling discoveries about experimental animal treatments in the area. They stumbled upon anonymous accounts and rumors of animals being used for unorthodox medical trials. Each piece of information painted a darker picture, suggesting that the kitten's condition might be the result of something more sinister than they had initially thought. As the evidence mounted, Lilly and the vet decided it was time to involve the authorities. They presented their findings to the local police, who took immediate interest in the case. The police began their own investigation, using the leads Lilly and the vet had uncovered. The gravity of the situation was becoming clearer, and the stakes were rising. With the police involved, the investigation gained momentum. Lilly and the vet continued their own research, now with a sense of urgency. Each new discovery felt like a piece of a puzzle slowly coming together, revealing the complex and mysterious past of the kitten Lilly had so innocently brought into her life. As the investigation deepened, Lilly and the vet discovered more about the illegal animal testing. They unearthed records and anonymous tips that pointed to a clandestine network operating in the shadows. Each clue they uncovered painted a picture of a widespread conspiracy, far more complex and sinister than they had initially imagined. The focus of the investigation shifted to locating the individuals suspected of leading these experiments. Lilly and the vet worked tirelessly, piecing together bits of information, trying to trace the steps of this elusive figure. Their efforts were met with challenges, but they were driven by a determination to bring the culprit to justice. The further they delved, the more extensive the network of illegal activities appeared. Lilly and the vet stumbled upon a web of deceit involving individuals from various backgrounds, all linked to the underground world of animal experimentation. The complexity of this network was daunting, but they were resolute in their pursuit of the truth. As the investigation gained momentum, more evidence began to surface. Documents, digital footprints, and testimonies from informants were compiled, each piece adding weight to their case. Lilly and the vet knew that every bit of evidence brought them closer to uncovering the full extent of the illegal operations and saving more animals from harm. Lilly and the vet found themselves on the verge of a major breakthrough. The puzzle was almost complete, and the full story of the kitten's past was within reach. Their journey, fueled by a shared commitment to uncover the truth, was about to yield results that could change everything they knew about the kitten's ordeal. In a dimly lit room, the police, Lilly, and the vet laid out their plan to raid the suspect's location. Maps were spread out, and routes were discussed in hushed, urgent tones. Lilly felt a mix of apprehension and hope as they finalized the details of the daring operation. It was a moment of decisive action, fueled by the desire to end the illegal activities and save the animals. The day of the raid dawned with a tense atmosphere. As the team approached the suspect's facility, the air was thick with anticipation. The police led the charge, with Lilly and the vet following closely. Each step they took was a step closer to uncovering the truth and rescuing the animals subjected to the cruel experiments. During the raid, several animals were rescued, their eyes reflecting years of fear and neglect. As they were gently carried out of the facility, crucial evidence was uncovered, shedding light on the extent of the illegal operation. Lilly's heart ached for the animals, but she was relieved that their ordeal was finally coming to an end. The young man responsible for the experiments was apprehended amidst the chaos of the raid. His arrest marked a significant victory in the fight against animal cruelty. Lilly watched as he was taken into custody, feeling a complex mix of anger and pity for the person who had caused so much suffering. With the young man's arrest, the illegal operation was successfully shut down. The facility that had once been a place of suffering and fear was now empty and silent. Lilly, the vet, and the police stood amidst the quiet aftermath, knowing that their efforts had ensured the safety of countless animals. It was a profound moment of triumph mixed with sorrow. In the aftermath of the raid, the police worked diligently to build a strong case against the young man. The evidence collected was overwhelming, painting a clear picture of his guilt. Lilly, witnessing the meticulous process of justice, felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing that the perpetrator would be held accountable for his actions. As details emerged, the full extent of the illegal experiments was revealed. The horrors that had been inflicted upon the animals were beyond what Lilly had imagined. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community, igniting outrage and a call for stricter regulations to protect animals from such cruelty in the future. The rescued animals, now safe, began their journey to recovery. Animal welfare organizations stepped in to provide care and find them new homes. Lilly watched with a mixture of sadness and joy as the animals, once voiceless and suffering, started to heal and find loving families, finally receiving the compassion they deserved. Reflecting on the entire ordeal, Lilly began to see a new path forward for herself and the kitten. The experience had changed her, opening her eyes to the plight of animals and the difference one person can make. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to ensure the well-being of her rescued companion and others like it. Inspired by her experience, Lilly started advocating for animal rights. She became involved in local animal welfare groups, using her voice to raise awareness and drive change. The kitten, now thriving under her care, stood as a living testament to the positive impact of her advocacy. Lilly's journey had transformed her into a passionate defender of those who couldn't defend themselves. It was finally revealed. The kitten was an unwitting participant in the young man's experiments on eye drops. These experiments, aimed at preventing dry eyes, had tragically involved the little animal. Learning this, Lilly felt a surge of anger and sorrow for the innocent creature that had suffered in the name of a misguided scientific pursuit. The mystery of the kitten's constant tears was finally solved. The experimental eye drops had caused an overproduction of tears, leading to its perpetual state of weeping. This revelation brought both relief and heartache to Lilly, who now understood the depth of the kitten's suffering and the long road to recovery that lay ahead. With the truth uncovered, the kitten began receiving the proper care it desperately needed. Under the vet's guidance, a treatment plan was established to reverse the effects of the experimental eye drops. Lilly watched with hope as the kitten started to show signs of improvement, its eyes gradually clearing and becoming more vibrant. Lilly's resolve to fight for animal rights only grew stronger in the wake of these revelations. She channeled her anger and sadness into action, becoming more involved in advocacy. Her experience with the kitten had given her a powerful voice, one that she used to champion the cause of animals who had no one else to speak for them. In the midst of the grim revelations, Lilly found a beacon of hope. She realized that even in the darkest situations, positive change was possible. Her efforts, combined with those of the vet and the authorities, had made a real difference. This knowledge fueled her determination to continue working towards a brighter future for all animals. With a heart full of love and understanding of its past, Lilly formally adopted the kitten. The paperwork, once just a formality, now symbolized a deep commitment to the little life she had saved. She promised to protect and care for it, a vow made with the knowledge of the hardship they had both overcome. Together, Lilly and the kitten embarked on a journey of healing. As the kitten recovered from its physical ailments, Lilly healed from the emotional toll of their shared ordeal. Their home became a sanctuary of comfort and love, where they both found solace and strength in each other's company. Lilly became a vocal advocate for animal rights, channeling her experience into a force for change. She shared their story widely, using it to educate and inspire others. Her advocacy brought attention to the plight of animals subjected to cruelty and the importance of compassionate care and respect for all living beings. The bond between Lilly and the kitten only grew stronger with time. They had been through so much together, and that shared experience created an unbreakable connection. The kitten, once a symbol of suffering, now represented resilience and hope, a living testament to the power of compassion and persistence. Looking to the future, Lilly felt a renewed sense of hope. She was dedicated to making a positive change for animals everywhere, driven by the knowledge that even one person can make a difference. The journey she had embarked on with the kitten had transformed her life, opening her eyes to new possibilities and a brighter future for all animals.